think I am audible. And yes. Okay. Good afternoon, all of you. I'm Kumar. I'm doing PhD in Department of Neurophysiology. And thank you, Dr. Ravindra. He has nicely have given detailed explanation of neurobiology as well as neurophysiology of sleep. You have noticed some like molecules for the sleep induction, wake and sleep, and also, but now we'll do some go for some sleep and dream. We'll see. We have some fun here. Okay, so okay, so dreaming. So sleep I won't talk because Dr. Mindra has explained it very well, and we'll discuss about the dreams. So in terms of dreams, the research is not that much progressed in the field of dreams. The study of dream has remarkable slow progress over the past century. Why it is like that? Because dreaming is poorly defined, and there is no consensus on a definition. So there is not a Pakka definition. There is no definition of like proper definition of dreaming per se, because dreaming is explained by the anthropologist, psychologist, as well as neurophysiologists, okay, or neurologists. So no clearly physiological correlates. There are no clear. Now recent researches are there which are showing some physiological correlates are there, but last past century there is no like physiological correlates were like none. Like you cannot say what is the physiology of dreaming. Now we have some evidences. We will discuss that. Okay, and obviously, if you don't know physiology, like there is also consensus that like okay, how can we know the biology? There are some studies, 2-3 studies, like which shows what is the biology of dreaming, because to know biology, and we need some animal studies, and in animal studies we cannot confirm that whether animal is like rats or cats. We cannot confirm that whether they are dreaming or not. So no behavioral correlates, and most think why it is very slow, because there is no known function of dreaming till now. Some psychologists give some psychotherapy based on the dreaming, but known function is still a matter of like research now also. And why like people who dreams, they also what do you call it, they also live healthy life, cognitively very good, and people who don't dream, they also live like both have similar kind of thing. They're cognitively, they are both good whether they dream or not dream. Okay. So existence in species other than human is a matter of conjecture, and what absolutely clear is that dreaming is a highly robust human occurrence, and that is most likely experienced by most human every night. But most of the individuals, human beings, dreams every night. Some might not, some might dream, but they cannot recall. That is also possible. Okay. So this is what we will go to the definition. As I told, that single definition is very rare, most likely impossible to give, and the diversity in current applied definition. So what dreaming is actually phenomenologically, dreaming refers to a state of mind, and in this book, Dement, they have explained what is dreaming. According to that, this definition is all mental. Dreaming is also known as, scientifically, we see that dreaming is also known as sleep mentation. Okay, so sleep mentation and dreaming, they consider both same. So all mental experience, what is sleep mentation or dreaming, is defined all mental perception, thoughts, and emotion occur during this sleep. So that's sleep meditation, and the process of experiencing. Okay, the process of experiencing perception, thoughts, and emotion during sleep is called dreaming or sleep meditation, and it combines the sense of words, dream, and dreaming with sleep meditation. So we know that since dreams and consciousness go in same direction, like not in same direction, hand by hand. Okay, we are talking about dreams, and we are also talking about the consciousness and what is consciousness. As per se, there is no proper definition of consciousness because different fields are defining consciousness in their own way, which is not like I'm not telling they are not defining it well. They are defining their own way, and there is sometimes contrast between two fields. Okay, okay. So according to Hobson's paper, okay, Alan Hobson from Harvard Medical College professor. So consciousness is what? Subjective awareness of the world and the body, the self, including the awareness of awareness. So subjective awareness of the world, the body, and the self, including the awareness of that. And what is there is very important to know that what is primary consciousness and secondary consciousness. So only awareness of perception and emotion. When you are aware of just you are perceiving something and there is emotions are there, like in dreaming. You don't think, other things don't think. Okay, just you are seeing something and there are emotions in you and you are experiencing some emotions. But in secondary consciousness, that there is a part of awareness. So when you start thinking about why it is happening, like why these emotions are coming, is there anything bad is going on, anything good is going on, something pleasant or unpleasant. So that awareness increases your consciousness. Okay, that's called secondary consciousness. Okay, so secondary consciousness you might see in lucid dreaming. So when person is aware in the dream. Okay, so this is definition I thought I should give, like what is perception? Detail, visuomotor, and other sense modality information that constitute the representational structure of awareness. And mental state is a kind of hypothetical state that corresponds to thinking and feeling and consists of a conglomeration of mental representation. And default mode network is a network of brain region. Okay, when you think it gets activated, and when you give some attention to some task, it gets it disappears. Okay, it means areas are getting less activated. When I mean to say disappear. So during mind default mode network comes into play. Now this is very important. Self-generated. So whatever we are doing sometime with the later two tasks, sometimes unrelated two tasks, and there is generation of thoughts most of the times, and that generation, like if not derived from the external input, suppose I am sitting and I'm thinking something else and not related to this, so that is self-generated thought, but not driven by the present situation or by present external environment. So that is called self-generated thought. So we'll see what are the consistent feature of dreaming, and this is kind of contain hallucinatory perceptions because they are rarely not present around you, and visual and motor, but present in any sensory modality. So dream imagery can change rapidly. So dream, whatever you are seeing in a dream, it changes rapidly, and rapidly means like if I'm sitting and screening, I'm dreaming, this will change another scenario, like maybe garden, maybe some bus stand reports. So that imagery changes very fast in dreams. Whereas in reality, we are, but where we are, like we stand there, that much change is not there unless we move or run rapidly. Okay, but in dreams, images changes rapidly. Tiger may become some peacock, and peacock becomes some man, like that. That can happen. Okay. So that is the given in Hobson paper also, like how these changes happen. And they are bizarre in nature. Like there is no meaning like how it is happening. It may be at one side there may be a image of this keyboard, or your laptop is there. Another side, like tiger is sitting. So the congruency is not there. So that is often bizarre in nature. So dreams are delusional. This you know very well. And self-reflection. So self-reflection is like in dreams is generally found to be absent. Okay, so self-reflection is what? Self-reflection is your social interaction, your traits, and your behavior. And okay, and that is self-reflection. And we don't think as a first person that, okay, I am doing this. This is my trade-off behavior or my social interest, and this is greatly reduced in dream. So dream lack oriental stability, this you know very well, and person, time, places are fused. Okay, and plastic, incongruous, and discontinuous. And dream creates storyline to explain, integrate all the dream elements in a single confabulatory narrative. So there are different stories in line, integrate all dream elements in a single story. And dream show increased and intensified emotion, especially fear, anxiety, which appear to integrate wizard dream feature and may even shape the narrative process. So this is like a dream has emotions, positive as well as negative emotions. So in REM sleep, you feel extreme negative emotions, and that is also known as your nightmares. So dreaming with more negative emotion is mainly during the REM sleep, so nightmares. So may fear, anxiety, and you wake up and you will have that recall of dream. Okay, this is what is happening. So dream also show incorporation of instinctual program, especially fight and flight, which also act as a powerful organizer of dream cognition. Volition control is largely like attenuated in dreams. So we talked about the features of dreaming. Now we'll talk a little bit about the daydreaming. This is interesting. Okay, so daydreaming, like you are doing during the daytime, also nighttime, but not during the sleep time. So what is daydreaming? So as I talked about the self-generated thought, self-generated thought is like some mental content is there, and in that mental content, there is no that mental content is not generated by the effect of the external environment. Okay. So that is self-generated thought. So what is happening? We'll see what is happening there. So there are four boxes: upper two, lower two, or left two, right two. So what is happening here in first one? So here, perceptually guided and related to task. So there is some stimulus is there. You have to do some task. Okay, like on the Excel sheet, like 7 plus 2 is equal to 9. Sometimes kind of work you often do. So that is this work is going on. So it's a perceptual guided task related to the task, and you are thinking about this, but related to this. And in this case, unrelated to the task, okay, you are doing task and some phone rings. So then when our phone rings, then a mental content, mental imagery comes, oh, this is my phone, where it is. So at that time you are distracted from your work, what you are doing, and you have different thought, which is not related to your task. Okay. Then self-generated. So sometimes you are doing work and you think that, okay, why I am doing this? Right? What is the point of this task? So self-generated thought is there, but this is related to your task. So that is self-generated thought and task. So here comes the self-generated plus task unrelated. So here comes your very well defined your daydreaming, that you are doing some work and you forget about the work and you start thinking something else, some door, some else, talking with friend and some chat, which is not related to your work. So this thought is not related to your work. This thought is self-generated and this is not daydreaming. Or mind wandering, can also some author use it as mind wandering, some author use daydreaming also. So this is all about daydreaming, and this all parts gives you this creativity. Most of the great scientists think that daydreaming is very good for creativity, and this actually do so much creativity because you are thinking sometimes related to task and sometimes without unrelated task, but it gives to creativity. Okay, we'll see now next REM and non-REM dreaming. What are their features? Okay, so REM sleep, non-REM sleep. So dream content vivid, non-logical, and bizarre. Okay, they are clear. There is no logic in the dreams, whereas in non-REM dreams, okay, so there are dull. There is not that clarity. You won't identify the, like clarity is not there, that it's hazy. Okay. Identify a person sometimes it's difficult, but in case of REM sleep, you can see clear picture of everything. Okay, this is this person, this is table, this is whatever. Okay, so they are logical in non-REM sleep, but the preservative. Okay, and in case of REM sleep, and not some people thinks that okay, in non-REM sleep there is no dream. Actually, dream happens in non-REM sleep also, and so in case of multiple awakening paradigm, people were awakened from their sleep and asked, okay, during the polysomnography study, asked whether you are dreaming. So in 80% of the cases, when they were awakened from the REM sleep, they reported dreams. In case of non-REM sleep, dream were less, like 42% plus. Okay, so low. As comparison to REM sleep, not REM sleep, dreams recall is less, but dreams are present. So EEG activity, as you know, that there is a high frequency activity in case of non-REM sleep, low frequency activity, and the actions are like more motoric, animated, emotionally charged. Most of the REM sleep dreams are emotionally charged because in non-REM sleep that much emotions are not present. So in non-REM less, and your REM sleep less related to waking life, and non-REM sleep more related to waking life. Might be the due to the reactivation of memory. Okay, one of the hypotheses. Okay, now next, so different areas are involved in dreaming. Okay, so recalling and forgetting dreams. So there is a study, this is, in Journal of Neuroscience, what the easy correlates of successful dreaming. What they do, they also did serial awakening, and what they found. They found that okay, alpha activity in non-REM sleep in the temporal region. Okay, when they were awakened and they are perceiving EEG, they saw and they found that during the non-REM sleep activity, that this 8 to 11 hertz of frequency was present in the temporal significant. And in case of REM sleep, then they were awakened and they saw the theta activity in the most frontal region. So this is same thing, and high frontal theta activity predicts successful dream recall, and lower alpha oscillatory of temporal predicts a recall from stage 2 non-REM sleep. Okay, so again, so this was one study. This was studied like 2011 study in neuroscience, and this is 2017 study. Okay, with more number of EEG electron, high density EEG. So here, before starting, what is it is? I will explain the three things. Okay. First things, this multiple paradigm, multiple awakening paradigm. What is multiple awakening paradigm? So during the sleep, with the EEG electrodes attached, and person is sleeping, we go to the sleeping that he has the room there and awaken them. Okay, whether you are dreaming or not. So you do this multiple times during the sleep. Okay, what is, are you dreaming? Yes or no? What is the content of the dream? Can you recall? Okay, so that is multiple. You go to 5 to 10 times per night. Okay, and ask them. Okay, this is dreaming. Whether you are dreaming or not. Okay. Similarly, so what can the subject will report? Okay, so there are three things. First thing is like I was dreaming. That dream experience is there. Okay, and I can recall the dream experience. So this is one thing. Okay, dream is there. Person can recall the dream content. Another is like I was dreaming, but I cannot recall the content. So this is second thing. Okay, first is dreaming plus recall. Second, dreaming was there, but I couldn't recall that data like that. Okay, so third one is no dreaming, no recall. Okay, so dreaming with recall, dreaming with no recall, and third one is no. So in what they saw, this studies clearly et al. Okay, so they saw that okay, in this look for this low frequency and high frequency waves, and in the low frequency, when like dreaming experience versus no experience. So they found that in that case, 1 to lower activity of EEG, 1 to 4 hertz, is prominent at these, parieto-occipital regions in the this left lateral part and right lateral, left medial, right medial. Okay. So they found that that dreaming experience has more power of low activity. That is 1 to 4 hertz in the this parieto-occipital region. Okay. Similarly, in another where dream experience without recall of content versus no speech, they also found in that case that when person was dreaming but without recall of content but dreaming, no recall, but versus no speech, no dreaming. Okay. So in that case, they also found that okay, 1 to 4 hertz is also present for this parieto-occipital region. So it means that when you are dreaming with the recall of content or without recall of content versus no experience. So at that time, what is happening? That their low power is prominent in the low power 1 to low power is prominent in case of dreaming during the non-REM sleep. Okay. So another is in case of REM sleep. So they also see that okay, is lower power is more in case of dreaming experience versus no experience. So in REM sleep also they saw this part again later part of it's like the parieto-occipital as well as the some temporal lobe part also there. So in REM sleep, low power is also prominent in the same region. So when they mix both the models together and they found that there is overlapping of this region. So in nutshell, it is like okay, during the REM as well as non-REM sleep, low power is activated is more compared with the no experience of dream. Okay. So they also checked for the high frequency like 20 to 50 hertz, and they found that okay, dreaming versus no dream experience, and here they can see the frontal region, including frontal region and parieto-occipital there, and temporal also there. Temporal region is there, except it's frontal lobe. Okay, frontal lobe is not activated. Okay, so in this case, that okay, in REM sleep also, when person is dreaming, that versus no experience of dreaming, there is also at the same time high power activity of EEG activity. So in nutshell, what this concludes that okay, low power is also there, high power is also there when dreaming, when person dreams, okay, versus no dream. Okay. So this is what, and that's why it is called. The paper has explained the horse this parietal region occipital, parieto-occipital. Okay, mean parieto-occipital. So this region, parieto-occipital, okay, is a hard seat of dreaming because both the powers, low as well as high powers, are prominent when person is dreaming versus not. I think this is clear now. Yeah, next is they also when they were doing the serial awakening in this study, they also asked whether you were thinking, you were perceiving something, did you see any face, or did you speaking or somebody, okay, some movement you were doing. So those kind of questions they asked, and if like subject has explained like okay, I saw some faces, I was moving somewhere, some movements were there, I was speaking also. So they took the data and they analyzed the preceding 20 seconds here. Okay, okay, here 8 seconds they have done, but in another study they do 20 seconds also. So in here is 8 seconds. So they found that the reason which were actually we'll discuss here only, like thinking and perceiving, and you can see that perceiving this red one. Okay, so mainly parieto-occipital region. Parietal region is more, this is like more, what do you call it? Like more prominent, like the areas which are responsible for perception are mainly present in the parietal region. You cannot know this like having neglect syndrome. Okay, this parietal region is sometimes lesion is there and people don't perceive left or right side of there. Okay. So similarly, the perceiving area is mostly parietal region and temporal regions, and thinking you can see it going towards the frontal region. Okay, and so when they were thinking or perceiving something, they saw that okay, those similar areas are getting activated, which actually during the waking time person to. Okay, similarly for the faces, fusiform area is also activated. Okay, during the wake time, if somebody sees faces, fusiform is also activated. In dream, if person sees faces in dream, it's also gets activated. Okay. Similarly, spatial setting, posterior, parietal cortex. Okay. Similarly, movements like superior temporal sulcus. So, in movement, mainly your like biological movements and your own movements of hands and if those are present, if they gave the information of during that we were doing, they saw their EEG activity there and they found that the same area which were responsible during the waking time also responsible for the movements in the dream part. So speech, they also found that person speaking burning areas active. Okay. So these were the neurocorrelates of dreaming and the lucid dreaming. So okay. So what is lucid dreaming? So lucid dreaming is a dream in which you are aware that okay, this is a dream, and the person has the ability to control the content of the dream. So person is sleeping, and most of the time in REM sleep, person knows that okay, dream is going on, and this is a dream. I'm the person who is sleeping, and I am dreaming, and I have the ability to control the content of the dreams. Okay, so that is called lucid dream. So it's the term given by Lawad in 1985, and there are different ways to okay, induce lucid dreams. Okay, like auto suggestions, reality testing. In the reality testing, what happens that okay, whole day you have to ask yourself like 5 to 6 times, okay, whether this is a reality or I'm dreaming. Like now I can ask myself, okay, this is reality or dreaming. So how can I know that the present moment is the reality? Okay, the present moment is the reality. I know that okay, I will make some sound like this, and I'm getting the similar kind of sound. Like I know the sense of urgency is there. Like okay, what I'm doing, I am doing. Or if I switch off the light gets switched off. So these are the reality check sign. Okay, but in case of dreaming, if you do this kind of reality checking, what happened? You do this 5 to 6 times in a day for 1 week. Reality testing, okay, whether it's reality or not. So sometimes what happens? What are you dreaming? Once in a week or once in a month, this part will come into a dream. Okay, in dream you will ask yourself because whatever you do in the daytime, sometimes it comes in dream. So what you are doing during the daytime is reality testing. So sometimes it may happen that during the dreaming, you may ask this similar question to yourself, okay, whether this is a reality or dreaming. Then at that time you check the reality signs and you will come to know that okay, the reality signs are not congruent with the reality. So when reality sign is not there, like you switch on the light and off, and this is becoming something else, and light is not getting on or off, like according to your like your evolution, like when you switch on the light. So this kind of reality test is there. So if that is not happening, it means or do some other try to pass to the mirror. If you pass, it means it's not reality. Okay. So this kind of experiences you do if you do. Okay. If you follow and similar kind of experience you follow during the dream. So you differentiate between the reality versus what is going in dream, which is not real. Okay. So in that case, you will come to know that, okay, reality is not there during the dream part, when you are dreaming, and you come to know that you do reality testing. So at that time, you know that, okay, this is a dream, and I'm aware that this is not reality, and change the content of the dream if you want. So lucid dreaming mainly happened during the REM sleep, and you know, uh, it also reported in non-REM sleep also sometimes, but very rare cases. 2-3 studies are there which shows that, okay, in non-REM sleep, lucid dreaming can also happen. And lucid dreaming, you know, both parties, the sleeping part is there, waking part is the person is awake, but body is sleeping. So it is also known as hybrid state lucid dreaming, and there are different techniques to lucid dream. Okay, so in 2012, Dressler et al. He did a very nice experiment on 4 people. So what he did, he took trained lucid dreamer and asked them to sleep in the fMRI machine with EEG. Okay, and 2 of them actually did lucid dreaming in the fMRI machine in the sleeping, and what they found. So they found that mainly this is left lateral, and this is right, and this is medial surface. Okay, C is medial. So what they found that mainly 2 reasons. Okay, precuneus, this temporal region also activated. This mainly this one, precuneus region. Okay, so precuneus region was highly activated, as well as this dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Okay, so other small areas are also activated, but mainly precuneus and dorsolateral prefrontal. What is precuneus region in the parietal cortex? But it is mainly related to self-referential processing. Okay, it's mainly like processing, like sense of self, or okay, who's doing this work? Am I doing this work? And I know who's, like, you know, self-referencing, mainly, you know, sense of agency. Okay, if whatever work I am doing, and I know I am doing this, so that is mainly part when you look that type of you know, when you are doing this work and you see that which area is that activated, that is mainly precuneus. That's self-referencing. Self-referential processing. So that area of precuneus region is there. So that is activated during lucid dreaming, because the person becomes aware that, okay, I am dreaming now. Who am I? I know, and this is my part. This is my role. I have to change the content of the dream, and I am the person who is going to change the content of the dreams. So that self-referential processing is there. So because of that, maybe this precuneus region of parietal cortex is activated. So they also dorsal prefrontal cortex is also, you know, is also activated very, like, and this dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, as Dr. Vindra told, it's deactivated during the REM sleep, but it gets activated during the lucid dreaming. Okay, so during the lucid dreaming, it gets activated. Which area? Dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. What is the function of this? This is mainly your working memory. Your working memory is very less in case of dreaming, normal dreaming. So what happened 2 seconds? You don't think why it is happening, like what happened 2 seconds back, 3 seconds back, or why you are doing this. So working memory is, like, you know, less are deactivated. But in case of dreaming, okay, so working memory is more like the lucid dreaming, but you think about why are you doing and what happened 2 seconds back, what happened next time. So that kind of thing is there in the mind. So dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is responsible for that part. Okay, and this selective attention is also, when you give attention to some part of the dream, so your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex also gets activated, which otherwise is deactivated during normal sleep. Okay, so so this is what happens in lucid dreaming. So psychotherapy, some psychologists used treatment of nightmares, post-traumatic sleep, post-traumatic stress disorders. People are using. Now, recent people are also using lucid dreaming for studies are there for sports or movements of like if sports means they will train you, okay, for lucid dreaming, okay, and they will ask you to play this some sort of sports, maybe like which needs motoric activity. Okay, I don't remember any sports that category right now, cannot reflect, but some sports which has motor action, most of it have motor action. They will train you for that as well as during the dreaming. So you become more good in that. So those studies are there in lucid dreaming. Okay, what are you doing in the daytime? You also do in the lucid dreaming. You will have more good results to improve your motoric skill. Okay. So this was one study. Then in our lab, we also did something like lucid dreaming, and we had published it. And it was also, we took 3 months to train the subjects for lucid dreaming, and okay, with some cognitive training technique and acoustic stimulation. Acoustic stimulation means that, okay, person is sleeping and you are playing background sound that, okay, this is the dream, this is the dream. So sometimes that sound gets incorporated in your dream part, and you hear that, oh, this is a dream. Then you become aware of that. So that technique we used for induction of lucid dreaming in the lab. So this is how objectively we can verify that the lucid dreaming is there. Okay. So objective verification that uh, in the REM sleep we know that our body is atonic, and okay, so a lot later dorsal nucleus, Dr. Luna said that plays important role for this atonic part also, brainstem. So what is happening here? Like, but only one thing you can do in the dream that you can move your eyes. Since rapid eye movements are there, your eye muscles are moving. Okay, and that only thing you can do in that dreaming. So that can become your objective part. Okay, objective part to know that person is actually dreaming. Okay, so what is happening? So we train the subjects. Okay, this is from our lab. Okay, this blue color, this under green is eye movements. This EOG actually. Okay, so during the training, I told them, okay, make your eyes left, move your eyes left and right during sleeping. But okay, they train during the daytime also, and if you become aware during the training, so try to move your eyes left and right, like this. Okay, 3 times. So in this, during I was recording this ESG recording was doing, and person dreamt, and he gave me the signal, this left right. So it's subjective. Okay, EMG is not increasing. Okay, frequency is increasing, but EMG is not. It means that the person is not waking up, because if person wakes up, EMG shoots up. Okay, so that is it. So during this, person has given the 4 signal, left right, and this is objective. Objectively, person is aware, person is sleeping, and during the sleeping part, lucid dreaming is there, and at the same time, he thinks I have to give the signal to the experimenter. Okay, so he gave the signal like left, right during the sleep. So this is part of lucid dreaming. EMG is not increasing, frequency is increasing, and this is typical sign of movements of eyes. This is voluntarily done movement of eyes during sleep. Lucid dreaming. Okay. So this was our paradigm 25 seconds before. After that, we give stimulation. This is a dream. This is a dream. Then we stop the stimulus. Then 25 seconds. Okay, for lucid dreaming. So what we found that there is increase in the frontal region. There is increase in the gamma activity, 40 hertz. So there are several studies which shows that our study is concurrent with the other studies, that all of them show increase in the gamma activity. There are earlier study which also shows that there is beta activity in the parietal region. Holzinger et al. In 2018, they have shown that, okay, that beta activity is present during the lucid dreaming. So, but the recent, most of the lucid dreaming, they are showing that there is increased gum activity. So that's all. So we have talked about the dreaming and lucid dreaming. Thought you would have enjoyed it. Okay. Tomorrow I will come with sleep state scoring. Okay. You have question, please. That you can post or you can ask. Thank you. That's good. We control body movements while we train ourselves. Lucid dreaming. Okay. Okay. Could we control our body movements while we train ourselves for lucid dreaming? So when we train ourselves during wake stage, if we are talking, so studies are there which shows that like typing is also a movement of your fingers. So that you are doing during the daytime voluntarily, that you can do, but control also body movements. But as such, during lucid dreaming, these are 50 movements only. You cannot do like this when you are dreaming and you are moving your hands during REM sleep. That you cannot do. You can do that only during the in the sleep part, in the mental imagery part, as a mental content part. But you can during the lucid dreaming. As such, okay, you are lucid dreaming at the same time physically you are moving your hands. No, that's not possible because your brainstem is sitting there with the sublateral dorsal nuclei. Okay, so that you cannot do, but you can train with that mental imagery content. Okay, so during the daytime, if you are practicing, that is the simple thing with that. Okay, but we control our body movements while we train ourselves for lucid dreaming. Yes, we can do that if we are awake at that time. In sleeping, that we can do in the mental imagery in lucid dreaming. Okay. Okay. Is there any scientific support that some dreams are things that going to happen in future, like dream about a death or accident? Also, dreams that we are seeing things that are settled in the subconscious mind. Is it true? So this is more psychological part, and the first question is: there scientific support dreams are things that going to happen in future? Actually, I also searched for that, and I couldn't get. But psychology, what I could get that okay, if you are thinking something, why something happened, why dream, and it happens in futures. Okay, suppose I want to do MBA, I have to give the exam of CAT. 1 year I have to start the practice. Okay, so there is in my mind that okay, I have to give the exam and I have to study. So in that period, I went to one of the college, maybe some MBA college in Delhi or Bangalore, and okay, that is happened. And I went to good college there, maybe some IIM college. I went there and okay, during my dreams. At the same time, I was studying also. Okay, but in future, what happened when I gave the exam? I got selected at the same college. Okay. So it means what? What I dreamt, it means in future it happened to you. It happened to you if you already have some mental imagery content in your life about that thing. Suppose death or accident or something like that. So that if I am little bit ill or somebody is ill around me, so that imagery is there in my subconscious mind. So that imagery sometimes comes in our mind, and we think somebody died, and suddenly somebody is ill around us may die. So that things happens. But as such, okay, some like scientific evidence is there, like okay, this is happening, then this will definitely happen like this. No. So 100 people are seeing people are ill around them. One or two them will definitely get okay sleep of dreams of death next day, or once in a week, once in a month, and sometime with coincidence it happens, but not for all of them. So that may be one of the explanation researcher gives. And I think that what I know, I explained. Rahul, please suggest me a good book for sleep. I think Principle and Practice of Sleep Medicine by Dement book is available. You can. It's the best book, I think. I have read it, and it's a very good book. And is there any question? Okay. Please suggest me a book. Okay. Tomorrow I will also be here discussing sleep state scoring. At that time, I will share my PPT and also books if you really want to. But if you are, it's one book is enough. Dement book is enough. If you want to more about EEG, all those things in epilepsy or other things, then there is a book Niedermeyer. Okay, so that is also very big book. Okay. Okay, so how can differentiate dream versus hallucination? And mainly, actually, I told you now, in dreams it's kind of hallucination. That things are not there, same things. But in dream, the mental image is like hallucination only. But when you are awake, then hallucination is different. Okay, and this is mainly hypnopomic and hypnagogic, and so dream versus hypnopomic and hypnagogic, this hallucination, if we think that mainly that time period when you are going to sleep, okay, so how can we differentiate between hypnopomic? So this is a very good question, like how? So in case of uh, uh, hypnopomic or hypnagogic means when you are going to sleep, some mental imagery is there. When you are waking up from sleep, some mental imagery is there. Okay, so that is hypnagogic and hypnopomic. So that mental imagery when you are just going to sleep, okay, or in simple words, you can say you are at a railway station or airport or bus stand, and you are very tired, and you just sit on the chair, and there is a mental imagery. You become little bit drowsiness, and you close your eyes on the chair, and you get some kind of imagination there. That imagery content is there. So that is called hypnagogic or hypnopomic if you are waking from the sleep. So that imagery is very short-lived. Okay, so dreaming is continuous. There is confabulatory things, so many things, emotion and all things, but your short-lived dreams are like this hypnagogic and hypnopomic. Okay, thank you. Dream analysis as a way to understand subconsciousness. What is the current finding on this? Oh, so subconsciousness thoughts. We can say that we can do that, but there are a lot of method of dream analysis, and they leads to different directions actually. Okay, there is one the called Castle method, and it analyze the. If you are a psychoanalysis, that's a different thing. And then I will not discuss about the psychoanalysis here because it is a big topic, and that's. But I will talk about the dream analysis. So dream analysis is like okay. So I am dreaming, and there are people, there are some places, there are characters, like okay, there are emotions, and there are restaurants. So these kind of characters we actually differentiate. Okay, so whether how many males were there, how many females, how many animals were there. So that percentage we calculate in dream analysis. I'm not talking about the psychoanalysis. That it's a very different story. Okay, so current finding on this I told in the this dream analysis, because this is a neurophysiological part only. Okay, not psychology that much. Okay, psychophysiology we are talking, but not much psychophysiology. Only physiology part we are talking about. So in dream analysis, I told in the neurocorrelates of dreaming that if you are seeing a face, your fusiform area is getting activated. Okay, because neuronal firing increases at that time. So we are studying in that way, not in the way of psychoanalysis. One should also study that. Okay, right now we are focusing on okay, this is the psychology and what is the like phase is there, which area is getting activated in the physical, this fusiform area. And what other areas are getting activated at the same time when we see phases. So in that case, dream analysis current findings are that the areas which were activated during the daytime for the same observation are also getting activated during the dreaming part. So in that regard, dream analysis we can say, but in terms of psychoanalysis, it may take a lot of time. We'll discuss later. Okay. No more questions. So we will meet at 2:30. Okay.